Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Daryl Smith Jr., and directly across the screen from me is...
I am Rody John, and to my left is...
Amy. On today's show, we talk to Larry Ladale about his hit single, 2020 Broke My Heart. Please check that out. What he misses about performing live, and what he's looking forward to for the rest of this year.
We also sit down with Kevin Decoud from Legal Draft to talk about brewing, their one-off concoctions, and if we could see an Arlington Citizen Media beer in the future.
Tell me about that.
I mean, spoiler alert, we're going to work on it.
So don't listen to the rest of the show. It might happen. No, it's a good interview. So yeah, definitely check it out. Kevin is a very interesting dude, and it was very fun to listen to all of that. Also, what have y'all been up to?
The ladies out there. I think he has a ring on his finger. So.
Oh, is he really?
Yes, he is.
Huh. Could you describe it?
The more you know.
No.
Okay. I'll just have to listen to the episode and try to get an idea.
You can,
voice.
Yeah, paint a mental picture.
He wanted to be a firefighter, and then he decided to be a brewer.
I
so
see.
he's got that nice build to him. So I'll put that in your head.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Wonderful.
I'll show you a picture.
So, anybody do anything cool?
No.
I went to go to eat at Southern Eats today.
Oh, where's that?
Tried out their catfish. It is on South Cooper, just past Harris and all that. It's over by the Rio Mambo and what else is over there? I think there's
Smash Burger?
No, that's further south. Further south than that. So, no, it was really good. The catfish was fantastic. They do serve cornbread with it, and it's delicious.
That sounds really good.
Yeah. It's also black owned, so it's even better.
That's great.
So definitely go out there and support them. So
also
I think
check Wing Bucket this week. They're brand new to the town. They are from Dallas, so check them out. They are just south of UTA on Cooper, and there's a lot of wing going on. They serve actual full wings, not just the regular little flappers and.
Oh, that's awesome. Those are my kind of wings. I've been making those at home recently, and that's I've been why aren't more places selling the whole dang wing?
Now
we got a place.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I bet a lot more of the meat stays on it that way.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. I haven't done much, trying to keep away from the vid, running as few errands around town as possible. But we are probably going to get some more food from Samurai soon at to-go hibachi place. My kid's dad tried it out too. He said he loved it. And I remembered they have the best chow mein noodles you get on the side instead of rice I have ever had.
Really?
Ever.
High praise.
Yeah, no doubt the best. So yeah, hibachi. What is it? Samurai hibachi to go.
It's over by Thai, Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
Texas, yeah.
I think the biggest thing that has come up this week that literally just came up today is Arlington schools will be online only till September 28th.
Saw that.
Yeah, my kid's a little disappointed, but, I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yes, especially because while it is, at this point, kids may not necessarily be as negatively affected by it, they can definitely spread the crap out of it. So just got to err on the side of caution on this one. I think the AISD I think Tarrant County made the decision. I think Tarrant County made the right decision here. And I know that puts a lot of hardship on some people, and that's unfortunate. I'm really hoping that communities and families are going to be able to, weather that storm. But the alternative is much darker and bad. So I'm glad that this is the road that we went down, and I hope it works, We don't really have much of an alternative, I think, but.
I think they'll have a better handle on it this time around. They've had all summer to prepare. I mean, last time, basically the last week of spring break was all they had to prepare to do online classes. And AISD, I feel, really did do a good job of distributing devices, first of all, to students that didn't have them, keeping up with distributing meals, making sure that families without internet were provided that. And I hope that they continue to do so. I think they will. One of the differences now is that instead of working from home, the teachers are going to be working from the school. And so they will be coordinating together and working together. And it seems more like, I read younger kids are getting 4 hours a day of live instruction, and the older kids are getting 5. So this is like on the computer, sitting down, working. So it's not like before where Marilyn literally had 2, worksheets or whatever of review work a day, and if she didn't do it, it wasn't really a big deal. So, because nobody knew what was going on. So yeah, it is going to be a challenge being a stay-at-home teacher for all of us, but it is better than the alternative. You're right, Daryl. And now might be a good time for anybody who's ever been a former teacher or is good at like tutoring or nannying to maybe seek out some little gig work. Doing that kind of stuff for kids or parents. Anybody who is wanting to do gig work as like a tutor, to reach out to families and try to do that.
I was on Nextdoor the other day, and there was actually several posts where people were like talking about forming like cohorts and like trying to like leverage like tutors and stuff like that to help educate the children. Because, people still have to go to work. We don't really have, as a state or a city or a country, a health or like a childcare system in place for something like this. Especially for something like a global pandemic, let alone one in and of itself. But I do think you're going to find people being creative and figuring out the solution to the problems because they have to. Like, just by necessity, I think you're going to find a lot more creativity in regards to that.
We see it everywhere. We see it in our businesses and restaurants. I know bars are having a really hard time. I actually had a conversation with Richard from Mavericks just today. I happened to run into him. And I know that he's working hard on working with the TABC to try to get his establishment open back up. Because a lot of these places, they're not going to make it.
Right.
You think of these business owners as being flush with cash. That's just not the case,
Not small business owners for sure.
No, not small family owned businesses. So, of course, keep supporting small business. We don't know when this is going to end. But we can do what we can right now, to choose where you're going to spend your money.
Sure. So. A lot of places are doing drinks to go, so try to support them in that way, and then just keep supporting.
Just keep supporting. We're here with Larry Ladale, again, one of our all-time favorite guests to come on.
And just people in general.
People in general. How are you today?
I'm awake.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little... No, it's not early.
11, well, for a musician, it can be early.
Fair.
It's
for
11,
COVID time.
For artists in general, yes.
COVID has messed up my sleeping schedule, so...
And it's Saturday, so...
Oh, yeah. So I went to bed early.
Nice.
3 o'clock.
Wow.
Well, thank you for coming first thing in the morning. We appreciate you.
No problem, brother. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
So here's why you're here. We hear that you have another new single coming out. What is it called? Where can people find it? And what inspired you to write it?
Ooh, new single's called Let's Talk.
Okay.
Let's Talk. You can find it on all platforms. That's what people always say.
Yeah.
But it came out July 7th, but the difference... This time I put it on SoundCloud July 1st.
Okay, great.
Because of COVID and everything. I would like people to stream it and do all that, but I figured, let me put it out early on something that's free and just kind of see what happens. So
okay.
That makes sense. So, obviously, we all enjoyed the song and the video for 2020 Broke My Heart.
Yeah.
So, that was inspired clearly by the first half of this year. Did you take it as a... What is this? Sorry.
Okay, start over. You want me to read this question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we all really enjoyed your song and video for 2020 Broke My Heart, and we all know what inspired that. And did it give you any respite from this terrible year to write a song about it? Did it make you feel better?
Well, yes and no. I know a lot of people have probably gone through worse than I have. I've been pretty lucky with how COVID has gone because I work for the school system. So it was already spring break, and then when the shutdown happened, it's literally the Monday I was supposed to go back to work. And so when the shutdown happened, it was basically like your vacation's going to be longer. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's awesome because I didn't want to go back. And then the year just kind of got more and more ridiculous. So by the time I made the video, it was kind of like, well, it can't get any worse. Mm-hmm. And then it did. So,
very much so.
Yeah. And so, more celebrities died. More people were affected by COVID, and even worse than affected by unemployment and things like that. So the song became more relevant, actually, after I put it out. I really did it as a joke, just respite, so people could kind of
laugh about it a little bit.
Make some sense of it, and then it got worse. So it's just like, I got more comments. It was like, dang, this is more relevant than you wanted it to be. And like, yeah, pretty much. So I did it as a joke, and then I got the most views I ever got on anything I've ever done on Facebook. So it was like, okay.
It was a fun video.
Oh,
if people haven't seen it, they can just go look on your Facebook, or is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
So what is the thing you miss most about performing live?
The money.
Yeah, well.
The money. And, man, 2020 was like the best year I was having.
Right.
I had a consistent gig out in Deep Ellum every Thursday night.
Okay. Where were you playing at?
I was playing at a place called Ebb and Flow.
Okay.
It was pretty newly open. They opened in November.
Where in Deep Ellum is that?
It's right behind Bomb Factory.
Oh,
it's
okay.
right next to, I almost said the Rustic. That's not right.
No.
The Ruins.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's right. It's right on the. Remember they used to do comedy nights down the street from.
I remember
Freeman?
hearing about it.
It's like next. It's like that. The open space.
Right.
Dots. Ebb and Flow. It used to be something else, and they remodeled it.
Right.
And so I was doing that every week, making a couple hundreds of dollars more each month, just doing that every week. And because I was doing that, other gigs starting to pop and roll in. So I was like, man, this summer I'm gonna just call people in Waco and Austin and Houston and San Antonio and just get out of here and get on the road. And then I was in Oklahoma when everything was like, yeah, you're not coming back to school. I was at a gig that Saturday.
Yeah.
And they were pretty much like, spring break's going to be extended.
You know what's ironic is that the last time that you were on the show, you were talking about that gig, being excited about going to that gig in Oklahoma. And, looking back on that, we had no idea how naive we were.
Right.
We had no idea what was coming. It is a fully before times, after times situation.
Yeah, that, so that gig still happened, but what happened that Thursday is University of Oklahoma was like, you guys can't do anything on campus. We're shutting everything down. So the alumni game got canceled. They call it the Hall of Fame banquet Friday night, because whoever gets inducted in the OU Rugby Hall of Fame, they do a whole ceremonious thing.
Very cool.
That got that was going to be at Sooner Hotel. There's actually a Sooner Hotel.
I'm surprised there hadn't been a Sooner Hotel before this.
Oh, it's always been there.
Oh, okay.
It's just they throw big time banquets, and it's right on the edge of Norman.
Okay.
And that got canceled. The golf tournament that they were going to do the Friday morning got canceled.
That's a weird one because golf, I've noticed, has been very consistently keep going during this entire COVID situation.
Well, you can be isolated playing golf.
Yeah, basically.
It's probably the only.
You kind of are.
Yeah.
So people who were already in town were like, I'm not going back home.
Right.
And people who hadn't left their homes yet to fly in, they're just like, they didn't come. So the hundreds of people who would have been there to pack out that little small space, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say thanks again, John and I both, for participating in Arlington Cares. We had so much fun.
Oh, yes, thank you so much for that.
Would you be interested in doing something like that again?
Yes. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, we're working on. We have ideas. We just don't know exactly what to do yet. So we definitely do want to do something again, and we don't want to do a fundraiser-ish, but there are people that are hurting. You know, the bars are hurting, the venues are hurting. So, you know, obviously artists are still hurting too because they can't fully do anything. So, have you been doing streaming? Like, you've done some streams. Have you? How has that worked out for you?
As far as money, not, you know, it's been okay.
Okay.
There's been a few people here and there that's like, appreciate you.
Right.
A couple bucks, or, well, one guy was like, hey, here's $50. I was like,
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
he owns a race team, so
Okay.
he's doing okay.
Yeah.
He'd rather be out on a dirt track, but
Right.
he's on the team for years, so he'll be okay. But as far as I think it's been better for interaction. That's usually what the streams I do, people are kind of passing through. If you ever look in, you'll maybe see 10 or 15 people on at the same time, but usually a couple hundred people come through and just say hi, listen to a couple songs, and keep going. So it's been the response on live streaming has been pretty nice.
Yeah.
People ask me when I'm going to do it again, and I think that's important. When you look at the live viewing number, it can be deceiving on what's on the actual interaction that happens during the show and after it's over.
Exactly.
So, and even the gigs that, what's crazy is, so Greg Abbott did the reopen, right?
Right.
50%, and then things were starting to slowly open up again, and about a week and a half ago, I had 2 gigs back to back. One was House of Blues.
Oh, wow.
On a Thursday, and then Grease Monkey in Arlington.
Right.
The next day. And so House of Blues, maybe 12 people came, because literally that morning, Greg Abbott was like, shut it down again. And people got it.
Right.
And so, and I live streamed that. And then I go to Grease Monkey the next day, and it's packed.
Yeah.
It was packed. Like, there's people on the outside bars.
Really?
It was nice.
That's cool.
Depending on how you look at it.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Right.
I have heard Grease Monkey's still doing music. Cartel, Taco so is Tipsy Oak. So it's good that these people are still allowing the live music to happen. It's just sad that bigger venues, they can't do anything because of the fact that they're technically, you know, a bar or whatever.
Right.
And you can't, like, how are you supposed to socially distance people from getting in and out of a place?
And when it's standing room,
right? Also, in standing room,
you can do in every other seat situation or every other table situation at a bar, but you can't sit there and police people and put them in. Everybody, make your arm bubbles. This is your personal space,
right? Like, you almost have to put squares on the ground and be like, okay, you can only be.
They do that, and nobody looks at those either.
I swear. Not at all. Also, that the other thing is, like, let's say we all rode together. That's 3 people, but. What if, like, we meet somebody there? Can we not hang out with them because we didn't technically show up with them, but they are also our friends? So
so what Grease Monkey was doing was basically make you wear your mask when you come in. As soon as you get your drink or you're seated, then you could take your mask off. But if you're walking around, I guess to other, to go to the bathroom or just to visit people, strangers, they have you keep your mask on. So
yeah, I've noticed that in a lot of restaurants now too. It's just sad they didn't really give bars a chance to do that.
Right. And I don't understand why the bars are getting all the blame.
Right.
Because there's other places. I mean, the bowling alley's still open.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they say
open.
you don't, or they suggest that it's okay if you don't wear a mask if you go to church or something. And if you get that many people going to one church, that's a lot of people either not wearing masks. Yeah, singing.
Praying,
right.
Hugging, holding hands. Yeah.
So how does that even?
You'd think the bowling alley would be more dangerous.
Without a doubt.
What they were doing was they said, what type of ball you want? I'm like, I want that one. I'm like, no, don't. I have to get the ball for you. Like,
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is a lot of surfaces that are being touched.
Exactly.
And sharing shoes. Were they still doing that?
They're still doing shoe rental, and they're spraying down everything, though.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know why they hate the bar so much.
So the year's only half over. We're entering the second half.
Oh, man.
What do you feel the predictions is coming for the next half of the year?
It's hard to tell. I will say, since I am part of the school system, that they've been talking about it before summer happened, before the second wave hit, that there probably won't be school.
Now at all, or like they're just gonna do virtual?
Virtual.
Okay.
Now they were thinking of doing like a half and half type thing.
I had heard that also.
And I don't see how that's a great idea, since, especially since the governor is backtracking everything he said. I think, oh man, Hot Wheels. That's what we call them. I think if you just got it.
Yeah, I just got it.
Oh, because loops? I'm confused.
No,
Because he's in a wheelchair.
That makes more sense. I like that. Okay. Hot Wheels. Okay.
I think if he was a little bit less arrogant about the reopen, then things would be different. If he was like, hey guys, let's just try this out. He was like, no, it's Texas. You can't tell what to do. And we reopened it. And then supposedly the numbers spiked, and he was like, I blame the protesters.
Right.
Right.
Wait, what? No, I mean, I blame the bar people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, you the one to reopen. He's like, yeah, I shouldn't have done it so early. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry for the 100,000 extra deaths. I apologize.
Please still vote for me.
There's no telling, because before we're like, it'll pass, man. We'll get through this. And we're hitting the second spike. We're hitting the second wave.
We are. This might go through the end of this year and maybe beyond. I mean, I can't see how it's not going to get worse when the weather gets cold.
Right, because we haven't entered the flu season again.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. One question that we kind of skipped over that I really want to ask you is, on your new single, what is the name of it again?
Let's Talk.
Let's Talk. What inspired you to write that one?
That is actually the oldest recorded song I have.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, so if you go on YouTube, there is a version that's been on there for like 9 years.
Wow.
And I never officially re-recorded it and released it like this. It was on iTunes like 8 or 9 years ago, and I took it down because I just didn't like the sound. I don't like the mix, and I didn't do any promotion or anything like that. So, also I never gigged with it or played it around town like I have this one. So, a lot of people already know the words. Okay. Some people I've shown, they're like, "Wait, you've done this live before?" I was like, "I do it live all the time." So, I mean, basically that song was inspired by a lot of things. So the second verse, sister had a baby, still in class, that thing. That's both of my sisters. They both had kids early, and they both finished college.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. And so my oldest sister was married with 2 children when she graduated college. So I remember being in college myself and being like, man, I'm quit. I quit. This is too much. And then I'm like, wait, my sister had a much different situation, a much harder situation, and still finished. Mm-hmm. She was taking her children to class at some point, and it was just like, you really have no excuse because you don't have children, you have a wife or a house, like a mortgage, something. Like, you can finish school. Like, okay,
that's good. What an inspiration! Did they know that you feel that way about this? Have you told them?
They heard the song probably dozens of times before they realized it was about them.
Really?
Yeah, and so I didn't tell them on purpose until I just wanted to wait for this right moment. And then they finally asked, like, wait, who are you talking about? It took them that long to be like, wait, who are you talking about? So I'm talking about y'all. And my older sister actually started crying.
I bet. That's really sweet.
So, yeah, they didn't know for years it was about them.
I don't think there's anything greater than to be told that you inspired somebody, to complete something. There's like nothing more satisfying than that.
So it was a trip. The first verse is actually about abuse.
Okay.
So if you go back and listen to it, it might sound different. But I've had people in my family have gone through that too. So that's that.
Well, if people want to listen to that song and all your other songs, where can they go again?
They can go to Spotify, is where I'm directing people mostly, but...
And it's just Larry Ladale. That's all you have to search on Spotify. Okay.
On SoundCloud, it'll be Larry Ladale Music.
Okay.
But it'll be when you look it up, you'll see those thumbnails, those pictures, so you know you're in the right place.
Good.
Also YouTube, if you just search my name, Larry Ladale, and the song name, they're on YouTube as well, along with other videos I have of performances and things of that nature.
Right. Well, Larry, thank you again, and we very much look forward to hearing the song and working with you again in the future.
Yes, thanks for having me again.
It's always so good to see you.
Good to see you guys, especially since we've been locked up.
I know. Yeah. And in fact, of all the people that I've seen, which is very few, you're like on the top of the list somehow, because we did Arlington Cares.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we had seen you right before that, on the show, and then you came and did that commercial shoot with us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How did that go?
Oh, we'll talk about that after the show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's so I'm just always glad to see you.
Good to see you guys.
So thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm here with Kevin Decoud, for a brewer here at Legal Draft. How are you today?
I'm doing good, doing great. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for being on here. So, we were about to get into it before we started recording here. How long have you been with Legal Draft?
I've been with Legal Draft for about 2 years now. Or so.
Okay, and how did you get with Legal Draft?
So, I was, believe it or not, in the Fire Academy.
Oh.
Yeah, so kind of that different route.
Did you finish, or did you?
I did finish.
Okay.
I did finish, and I was kind of on the volunteer side of fire and looking for that paid kind of career path. In between that, I got drunk at a bar with a buddy and started talking about homebrewing.
Okay.
As such stories begin, of course.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I order a brew kit, and then fast forward maybe 6 months, I was attending a brewer course here in Eastfield College, Mesquite, and never kind of looked back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, well then how did you get on with Legal?
So, after finishing the course, I got paired up. My professor knew the brewmaster at the time, Heinrich.
Okay.
And I got an interview, got in.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, Legal Draft has been coming out with almost 2 variances a week since the COVID. How is that? What's been the thought process behind the variances? And then was it kind of was it the idea to kind of ramp up like that, or would it just kind of happen as it did?
So, it kind of happened in a weird way where it kind of worked out. Because I was just starting to pick up ideas here and there and look at things and figure out ways to kind of attract people to the tap room and really push that kind of creative side out of beer that I love.
Right.
And next thing you know, kind of COVID happened, which gave me a lot of free time, believe it or not.
Shockingly.
Shocking. And I was like, okay, what can I do? And you kind of pick up inspiration here and there, and I was like, all right, well, might as well. And then obviously the to-go stuff started picking up as well. What can we do to kind of still keep people on board? That's kind of let's figure out a way to keep people employed, keep people busy. And so I said, let's just pump out a bunch of crazy stuff and see what happens.
Very nice. Yeah, because I mean, locally that I've noticed so far, you guys and then over in Fort Worth, Martin House have just been absolutely killing it with the variances. And just like the different styles, and then just like you said, just throwing random stuff together and seeing how that's going.
Right. Yeah. Martin House is fantastic at that. Now they do it at a whole different level.
Oh, but I mean they've been doing it so long. So
right. Yeah. We I just like I said, I pick up inspiration here and there. We have a great team back here that is always feeding me stuff. And I just think, okay, can I possibly do that? Does that make sense? Sure, let's do it. So you kind of pick up things here and there, and you put in beer and just hope that they're good.
Yeah, I mean, so far so good.
That's what I hope so. Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, we got a couple things coming up here. We're actually releasing 2 more things today, so we're on the same schedule here.
Right,
still.
as of recording day, you're relaunching the watermelon Hefeweizen.
That's right.
Which I think I still have a can at the house. It's still great.
And then what was the other? So you guys are calling it the Law Series or Law School Series? What is it?
So the series is called, the Law School kind of series. We're on volume, I believe, 18 at this point. Now, the second release for today is the Trial of Jimmy Maybach.
Okay.
So it is our Bach aged in rye whiskey barrels.
Ooh.
And they were originally this was meant to be released for the Brew Fest that happens kind of during the summer.
Right.
Obviously, that didn't happen. There's no reason to not keep the beer in there. So let's just so it aged for a little bit longer than was intended, which kind of gave us a really kind of complex beer. Really, it's like I said, it's aged in rye whiskey barrels for about 9 months. I added vanilla to that to kind of round out that rye, almost peppery, spicy edge.
Right.
And to add just kind of a little extra kick in there, we then soaked some oaks chips in there.
Oh.
Soaked it in bourbon, and then added that kind of to the final beer, pretty close to packaging.
Well, I look forward to trying that on the way out. So what has been your favorite variants?
A couple of the hazies there. I gotta be honest. I'm a hazy guy for sure.
There's nothing, I mean, you're from Cal. I mean, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. So, hazies are great.
They are awesome. Man, it's getting pretty hard to keep a favorite here. One of the cereal ones, I think.
Okay.
We actually
Saturday morning cartoons.
So that might be one of my favorite ones, just because you pick up so much of that cereal tasting flavor in there. One of those would have to be it.
Okay. Wait. Okay. What variants do you still want to try that you haven't done yet, and which one do you think probably could have been better? Maybe the next time around.
That's a good question. Man, I love sours.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely sours is one thing that I want to start ramping up a little bit as we get going. I just love how easy they are to drink and how refreshing and all that.
Right.
And there's just so many fruits out there to kind of explore.
Yes. And it will bring a lot more. I've noticed women definitely love sours a lot more.
Beer is one of the things that we still have work to do on diversifying it.
Right.
So that's one of the things I want to explore definitely more. As far as get a retry on, let's see. I'll be honest, I'm never really happy with the beer ever.
I mean,
that's kind of one of my problems with it.
Good.
Fortunately, I keep trying to find ways to make everything better. I keep just retweaking at things, even if maybe I should leave them alone. But everything is kind of on the table, really, always.
I mean, it's an art. It really is. A lot of people don't think of it. They just think, okay, it's beer.
Right.
I get drunk off of it, or I get,
Which I don't blame them. Makes sense.
Some people, that's their goal. But
right.
The taste and the profiles is definitely something that you can tweak, I feel. I mean, I don't make beer, but I have friends that do, and I love beer enough that I think it's an actual art form.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's a perfect blend between science and art. Really passion, because you have to be passionate to be at least adequate at it. Nobody that has no passion will stick around.
Right.
Really. It's just a thing that happens. Beer is a canvas for you to kind of put your tweak and put your kind of your key, your little imprint, on things, and that's how I see it.
Yeah.
So beer is so much more things that even our market really still knows.
Right.
You go to places like even DFW, Texas, we still have some catching up to do to other markets beer wise. This is all kind of beer wise, but there's no even a goal when it comes to beer. They're so open ended. I think.
Well, I mean, like you just said, I feel like Colorado kind of has the staple of that's where a lot of craft beer started.
Right.
But then you also have California has their style.
Right.
Oregon has their style.
Right.
East Coast has their own style. Texas, unfortunately, I feel doesn't really have a bunch of styles. It's kind of like
we're all in
the
the middle,
mix of everything. So,
which leaves an opportunity, really.
Yes.
The probably biggest brewery that we have here nationwide, recognized. We have a couple here, but like Jester King always comes to mind.
Obviously.
You know, they're always mentioned at the nationwide level, and they're for good reason. You know, they're making and.
Plus, the brewery is beautiful. If anybody gets a chance, go down to Austin.
Oh,
and
it's
check that
great.
out.
It's huge. It's pretty much an amusement park at this point now.
Basically. And then, obviously, the oldest one in Texas is St. Arnold. So
Right.
Right.
And so, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of room for Texas to make its mark, its being its own style, its own kind of signature to beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way too. So you guys kind of haven't completely left the legal names,
Right.
But you guys have kind of started veering off of it, especially with the variants and so forth. Is that planned, or does it just kind of happen?
It kind of happened, and it, you know, I'm very lucky in that sense that I get a lot of kind of room to do my thing and playing around with things.
Right.
Sometimes too much room, probably, but no, yeah, we you know, and we do get punny here. Don't get me wrong.
Of course, no, I love
you have to. You have to. So if I see an opportunity to sneak some law in there, I'll take it. But
There you go.
otherwise, I just kind of I'll brew the beer. I'll see what it tastes. I'll ask the guys. We'll come up with at first maybe an appropriate kind of name, and then we'll kind of tone it down back to what you should release a name, not, you know,
Right.
God, some of these names, but, you know.
And you guys have gotten to the sticker or the actual labels on the cans, which
Yes,
is great.
yes,
Because
that's-
that would be sometimes the problem. I would come and get the variances, but it's just the label slapped on top. And if
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a mix, I got to be like, oh crap, which one was which?
God, I can't tell you how much I huffed and puffed for that. No, yeah, I mean, we finally made the jump to, 16-ounce format instead of 12-ounce format. We are looking for a labeler because right now we have to do it all by hand, which
I think I walked into you guys.
Correct. Yeah,
labeling all
absolutely. I will probably stick around and do a couple more, couple cans. But
Hey. All in a day's work.
all in a day's work,
Yeah.
exactly right. No, that's kind of, and again, it's room. It's room to do, whatever you feel like doing, really,
Right.
and it's awesome, really.
I think so too. So, what can the fans look forward to next from Legal Draft? Obviously, like you said, you have the 2 releases today,
Right.
And then what do we have to look forward to the rest of the summer? I guess.
Oh man, I call it the beer trinity. No, it's I always usually say, as long as you have some hazy IPAs, some sours, and some crazy stouts,
Yep.
you'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
So a couple little this and that. We do have a dark beer release
Okay.
next week. It is a pretty good stout, in my opinion, that's being released. Couple sours in the
Gotcha.
horizon. Some IPAs thrown in there. So, always keep people guessing and crazy stuff. Yeah.
I do love stouts. However, the weather is not the best unless you're going to just be inside. Then you're being stouted up all day. But
Yeah, that's one of my problems. I could drink a stout at any temperature, and I definitely relate to people that don't. I get that.
right, it can be a little heavy, but it's still there's so much taste in there, so many flavors in there.
Right. I mean, I just in the right setting, any beer can be appropriate at the time.
That's exactly right. So there is a new brewer coming in.
Sure.
What can you tell us about this new brewer?
Sure. So he is coming from California.
Okay.
So one of them comes with a ton of experience.
Can we say where he worked before, or no?
I'll leave that up to him. I'm
Okay,
sure
smart.
he'll kind of give all that out. But like I said, ton of experience. It's gonna push us into the right, a lot of high picture quality assurance stuff.
Right.
Really, I will say that he does lean towards being obviously quality first, which is great.
I mean, that should be.
Obviously, you think that too, but he's going to keep me grounded maybe. It's like, I'll come up to him, hey, can we do this and this and this? And he'll say, well, Kevin, let's take one of those things out. Let's keep this reasonable, which is good. Yes. I probably need that.
Well, I think everybody needs that balance, because in their head, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Right.
And you say it to somebody else, they're like, I don't.
No, man, that's not going to work.
None of that makes any sense.
So it comes with a ton of experience. Been in business for a long time.
Good.
But yet has that kind of craft mentality that we all kind of like. So
Good.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, anything new is not always good, but it's a change is not bad, is what I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah, I think that the worst thing would be that you are against change.
Right, if you resist it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's not going to work out because no one's on the same page.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially with beer. I just, you have to be able to change, because things change pretty fast.
Yeah.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, especially in this climate.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a segment on the show called the Tournament of Toppings. We're trying to find the best pizza in Arlington.
Oh, boy.
What is your favorite pizza place in Arlington?
Oh, man. Right off the bat, I got to give an out here that I am not super familiar with really pizza in general. I don't eat a lot of pizza, believe it or not.
What's your go-to meal then?
Oh, man, I'm kind of doing this keto thing. I know.
I've done keto a little bit.
You know,
nothing wrong with that.
So I'm doing kind of the low carb thing.
Ironic due to the beer.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
it weighs itself out, really.
Right.
Yeah.
If I have all my carbohydrates with beer, then I don't have to eat it.
You
right.
don't eat it with anything else.
Right. No, but so I'll have to owe you on that. I have to get back to that.
Yeah.
I'll have to.
There's some good gluten-free pizzas out there too.
Is that right?
Yeah. They don't sound all terrible. Cauliflower crust is really good too.
I have tried that.
Yeah.
I have not been impressed, but I will give it another shot.
Yeah, I kind of wish there would be more people, more pizza places. I mean, hopefully they're listening. That they do try to branch out into those healthier, because there's healthy ways to make any quote unquote junk food.
Right.
And I think that there just need to open your mind up.
Man, thank you. Guys, listen up.
Yeah,
we do want healthy pizza options out there.
Right.
On the same note, I will say that I'm kind of looking at doing the same for beer as well. So looking at things to kind of. There's not a really amazing keto friendly low carb IPA out there for me. There's a couple of decent ones. Like we have a couple good local ones for sure. Right. But yeah, I'll just say that.
Okay, then well, that could be a
little sneak
peek. I like it. So possibly more seltzers also, because I mean the seltzer that you guys made, pretty great.
I enjoyed it. It was our first run on it.
Yeah.
Couple things that back to trying to always fix things, but I definitely that is in the order for make another kind of couple rounds for it. Yeah,
very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so not a lot of people are asking about it, but I know we are. How can we get in Arlington Citizen Media the downtown beer?
What do you mean exactly?
Well, we would like our own beer.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's more direct. I like it.
Okay, sorry,
yeah, absolutely, anytime.
Well, shit. Okay. Well, by the end of this year, hopefully, we will have our own beer.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's make that happen.
Yeah. So, where can people follow you and Legal Draft on social media?
We're on most social media platforms. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Not TikTok. Yeah, that's what the young kids use, right?
I think people are jumping off of that because of China.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We're apparently quote unquote spying on us all.
Okay, good. We weren't ever on there.
Good.
So good.
We're not either.
On that.
It's too much.
Right. We
can come up with funny stuff, but what's the point?
Yeah. Major platforms. I don't manage any of them, thank God.
Yeah.
I do have my own Twitter, but that's as punny as they let me be. So it's on that. But yeah, absolutely. And you can go to our website and subscribe to the email list, and that will actually give you a couple days advance on the beer that's coming out.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. Well, Kevin, I appreciate your time, and I look forward to more beer.
No, thank you, sir. Tell me which beer we should make, and let's get this going.
Okay, we will.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, that was our show. Thank you so much to our guests. Legal Draft, we always love talking with you. And Larry, who is quickly approaching the
Five-Timers Club.
Five-Timer Club. So we've got to get those jackets when the thrift stores get open. Thank you so much for listening. Send us those pictures, and we appreciate you.
Make sure to go out and eat local, drink local, and
go rediscover your city.
Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of the Downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.
I'm sorry, I missed all of that.